I'm Isabel from the upcoming. Lovely to meet and speak to you today. So congratulations on this fantastic new series of The Wheel of Time. What was it like for you to come back as Lan into this series, and what can fans kind of expect from your character this time round?
Well, hi, nice to meet
Hi.
you. Yeah, it's good to be coming back. I think if fans watch season one, they know that they left Lan and Moiraine in a very sort of tumultuous situation with Ishamael at the eye of the world, and her being what we think is still losing her ability to channel, and that puts their relationship starting season two in a pretty intense spot. And so we know these two characters are very much like a married couple. They feel each other. They know what each other is thinking. And anytime you're in a partnership like that, when one partner goes through, becomes very altered in a sense, the other partner has to react. And so Lan is learning. He's trying to figure out what's going on with her. He may overreact at times, I think, as we see him get a bit emotional. He's kind of trying to figure it out. So it's a journey, especially the first half of the season is a journey, and there's a bit of an implosion. And then they're going to spend some time on their own, which is always nice. It's always nice to see characters in their containers and how they work within those containers. And so I think it's actually a formative season for Lan because he's relied on her for a long time. He's an orphan himself, and she's kind of jumped in and been his rock after that. And now he's without that. And it was interesting to play. It was frightening at times. But I think ultimately I walked away from season two with a better understanding of who he is.
Yeah, and obviously coming back and working with Rosamund Pike in her role as Moiraine Demandon, what was that like again? I mean, you must obviously have a fantastic working relationship from doing all of season one. What was that like to kind of reconnect and then again change and have some sort of building layers to your characters together?
Yeah, I always have to pick up so much slack for her. She just never really comes to work prepared. She's so bad at her job. It's a whole thing. I mean, it's a real struggle working with her. She makes me so much better. She's the most curious, intelligent, talented person, I've worked with. And so she keeps you on your toes, and you almost always feel like you're kind of in character when you're with her, because we're always talking about the Wheel of Time. We're in Prague together. She's moved there. So I'm not sure what the easy answer is, but it's pretty seamless, to be honest with you. And so as these characters evolve, we evolve as people as well. We find interesting ways to keep them interesting, whether it's reading our lines as different characters, or it's putting lawn chairs in front of our tents for our downtime. But we always stay connected, and we think that sort of adds to what you see on screen. It's very important for us to maintain that closeness, even when they're a bit disconnected. So always a pleasure. And I think season two, you can feel all the characters sort of collectively exhale and kind of flow into their own. Season two, to me, is a nice representation of what the show can be, pace-wise, tone-wise, and I think it's starting to really fall into a nice rhythm.
Yeah, and also I think for you, we don't just see your relationship with Rosamund, we see you develop another relationship with the family as well. I know we can't obviously say too much, but what was that like to add another dimension to your character?
It's great. It's great because, it's not often we get to have or play with some of that lighter stuff. It's a pretty heavy world. So whenever I get scenes, especially with Zoe, it's a really relaxed day at work because the stakes are generally lower, unless I'm getting stabbed or killed or something somehow. But we have a great rapport. It's very playful, and so those are always really good days on set. And it's tough though because the books are written a certain way, so we're trying to find ways to include them. I'm not sure how much you've seen. I'm thinking maybe up to episode 3. Which is where she goes through the arches, right? And you do get to see a semblance of their relationship, or what it could be, or what it is, or in her own mind. But it's nice that we got to have those two connect a little bit. I mean, otherwise there would have been none. So they will come back together. They will split again. That's kind of how they roll for the next next couple of seasons, actually. So, but if we stick around long enough, you will see them really come together.
And how is it for you kind of preparing for this role? So physically as well, I mean, you've got your fight scenes, you've got the samurai skills. I mean, it's all there. What's it like working with the choreographer Scarlett and sort of bringing those, and a stunt guy, I guess, too, bringing those to screen?
Well, I've just graduated to doing Pilates, if that explains anything, because Rosamund and I was complaining to her about my body aching, and so she's turned me on to Pilates. So 43, I guess that's where I'm at. It's a lot of calluses, a lot of blisters. It's tricky because a lot of things we work on, they do get cut, for time. So we'll have, like, in the first episode of season 2, you saw Lan in the olive tree field doing his kata. It's beautiful, but that was probably 20% of what I actually had practiced. So you work a lot for a little bit of screen time, and that's something you get used to. But for me, the physical is always a great way in to him. So I always welcome fight sequences, anything physical to help me sort of grip onto him emotionally where he is in that moment. So always helpful for me.
And I think I did hear you had a little accident with Rosamund in the first season with a sword. Did anything happen this time around, or were you a lot more careful?
A lot more careful. I think what it is I'm probably less careful now, because accidents tend to happen when you're being too cautious, when you're not quite free. And that's what happened. We'd only known each other for probably 3 weeks at that point. And so we were still learning movement and things, but now it's pretty free flowing. And we have a good idea of proximity and where we stand physically, in the scene. So no accidents yet.
And obviously you come back to this amazing location in Prague, and all these sets that are actually built for the show as well. It's not just a green screen, it's amazing. So what was that like? And also I believe that you had some filming in time in Marrakesh, I think it was, or Morocco, somewhere in Morocco. What was that like?
It's a blessing for actors. But for me, working with green screen is never, it's not real. It's hard to find, really a natural connection when it comes to that. So we're very lucky that Amazon has deep enough pockets to send us places like this, and build these sets. So the sets are unreal. I mean, they're so massive, you get lost inside. When my friends watch the show, they just can't believe they're actually sets, And yeah, we were in the heel of the boot of Italy for about 3 weeks, shooting in the Puglia region, and all these, like, next to these olive oil farms and just next to the sea, and might have taken a bit of a vacation there afterwards, which was kind of great. And then, yeah, Marrakesh, Casablanca, Essaouira, and Dakhla in Morocco, which is where we shot some of the ending of season 2, which is pretty fantastic vista-wise. Some really cool fighting sequences on these beaches and, like, this area of the world where the tide comes in, for, like, you have like a 3-hour window to shoot before the tide comes in. So you're basically shooting in a vacant ocean bed. It just looks unreal. And they pulled it off. So excited to see it.
Oh yeah, me too. It sounds amazing. And obviously this series is an epic adaptation of 14-book series by Robert Jordan. That's a huge opportunity to be part of this for the long haul. How's it feel for you? It's quite a commitment, isn't it?
It is a large commitment. It's a good one, though, because to get a chance to spend so much time with one character, you really get comfortable. And look, honestly, it's the business has changed so much, so it's nice to find something that has the legs to go for a long time. Not a lot of actors can say they're part of a show that might go for 6, 7, 8 years. And I'm not saying we will, but I think we have the chance to, which is always nice. So I'm definitely on board. So we'll see what happens. It's amazing what they've done, being able to bring these books into the show. And there's just so much, like 4 million words. And it's a testament to Rafe and the team behind it to be able to make these episodes. And I know the spirit of the books is always there. So I know we're all here for it if it keeps going.
Oh, well, thank you so much for speaking to me. I really enjoyed what I did get to do, and I can't wait to watch the rest of it. So good luck with it all, and thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Bye.